The new Necrons 2020 are coming as we take a closer look at the new Necron Warriors. It's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, that was the trailer for the new Necron Warriors, which we are getting soon. 9th edition has been announced, a load of Necron stuff has been announced. I'm going to cover the announcements and also some of the leaked stuff in future videos. But today I want to look at the Warriors. Now you may have tuned in and saw my live stream where I looked at these miniatures for the first time as they were revealed, and I really liked them at the time. Of course now I've had time to digest things a little bit more, and that's what I want to have a chat about today, because even though at the time I really liked these miniatures, there are two things which I'm not really sure I like them, and the first one is right in front of you. The head. Now when I first saw the head, I quite liked it. I almost felt like the model was connecting to me. But now looking at the head, it just looks like a zombie head to me. I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the way it's painted. I'm not a fan of those, what looks like teeth. I mean, why has he got teeth? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's the teeth which make him look a little bit odd. It looks... I don't know what it is, but yeah, zombie. It's got to be the only way to sort of describe it. But he definitely looks like he's got teeth rather than like a metal slot for the mouth. I think that's the main difference, which potentially is just the way it's painted. Now, the other thing that I don't like is this here, which is the gun. Now, that little wire... just why is it not going all the way round? Well, I think we know why, because they've hinted at some of the rules. However, I'm personally not liking that. Of course, they're trying to make them look a little bit different to how they were, and also bring some of the new rules into these models. Now, we're going to take a closer look at the guns in a second, but let's have a chat about some of these new rules that they've indicated. Now, they indicated on the release that this particular unit of warriors are going to be a bit different to what we're used to. They're almost like broken warriors. You can see here on this miniature, for example, one of his eye sockets isn't working, and some of the other miniatures have wires hanging down, and that indicates why that wire is broken on the previous picture, because these warriors are basically just not very good. Or at least that's how it seems. They've also indicated, if you read the article on the Warhammer40,000.com website, that the Necrons are actually a horde army. So I'm thinking that these warriors are going to be a lot cheaper in points than the warriors we're used to. Probably not going to be as good, although we will talk about the gun options, because the guns could be as good, but I think the stats are not going to be as good, especially with reanimation protocols. They've indicated that there's going to be a tier of protocols. So these guys here may only have a 6+ RP or a 5+ RP, and then some of the other better units might have a 4+ RP or possibly even a 3+ RP, who knows. They definitely indicated the warriors are going to be almost like the lowest tier of Necrons. I have a feeling that we'll be able to take units of 30 of these guys, but they're going to be cheaper in points and just not as good. Possibly with just a 5+ save and then a 6+ RP. Something like that, but much cheaper in points. However, that's only speculation, only my thoughts on what I've read. But what do you think? Do you think I'm correct on this point? Right, let's have a look at these guns. Now they've indicated that we are going to have two gun options. The original Gauss Flayer is staying, which is what this guy is holding and the guy that you've just seen. And then we've got a new gun called the Gauss Reaper. They've said that this gun is going to be shorter in range. However, they didn't say whether the Gauss Flayer is going to stay the same in its stats. They may change as well. However, let's assume that they're going to stay the same. So we're looking at 24-inch rapid fire. Well, these new guns are probably only going to be 12 inches only and not a 24-inch reach. However, they have indicated that these guns will be more powerful. The gun itself looks like a cut-off Gauss blaster, just a shorter little tube. And talking of tubes, of course, the green rods are gone. It's not really surprising. Basically, they're updating all of the units that used to have green rods. Personally, I like them. However, I can see why they've done it because, well, let's face it, probably the models do look very good without green rods. The green rods are a little bit toyish. However, I love them personally, but I can understand why they're not doing them anymore. It's a model refresh. It's probably more cost effective just to make them out of plastic and probably easier to design the models as well. Now I assume there will only be one class of warrior units rather than the warriors that we know and love, and then this is a new class, maybe a class which is cheaper but weaker. It's possible we might have two units of warriors in the troops' choice. However, if they don't do that and you need to update your warriors to take this new Reaper weapon, well, it looks like it's quite easy to convert. Now the image which you see on here isn't my work, but you can see how easy this can be done using a Gauss blaster and just chopping it down a bit, making it into a Reaper weapon. So it's going to be quite an easy conversion if you do want to do it. But there is one more thing that I want to talk about which could be quite interesting. And that is this image here, which we are going to talk about this image in more detail in a future video. But basically you can see the warriors there, and what's most interesting is they have mixed guns. So some of them have the Gauss Flayers, and some of them have the Gauss Reaper. Now does this mean that we can have mixed weapons within the unit? This picture indicates that we can, so I thought that was another interesting thing, and potentially we can. Now this could be very interesting and work quite well. If we could have a big warrior blob with our Gauss Flayers as the long range guns, and then our Reapers for the short range guns, as we take losses just taking the long range guns away, leaving us with the short range guns when we need them later in the game. Tactically, it could be quite good to have these mixed guns. I'm liking this idea. Now going back to this model here, and you can see by his foot there a small Scarab. Now I don't think we'll get Scarabs in with the kit like we previously did, and one reason for that is there appears to be a new Scarab base which looks pretty cool. Again, we'll talk more about that in a future video, but it seems Scarabs won't be in the kit. Now of course these warriors here are painted with this new paint scheme, and this is a brand new dynasty which is coming for the Necrons. Presumably it's the Silent King's dynasty, but we don't know that. It could just be another dynasty with some more special rules. We will have to wait and see. Let me know what you think of these warriors, of the new gun options, in the comments box below. And I'll see you in the next Necron video. Beam me up!